Thank you for joining us. Today we are going to be cutting
Love Thy Neighbor.
Let's do it. This one smells so good.
Yes.
This is scented just like carob cream, which do you want to tell them what it is?
Yes, that is grapefruit, labdunum, and patchouli. It's very good.
Yes. Ooh, it's beautiful. So I'm going to show you, well, let me get it out and then I'll show you a little close up. We're outside today because it is warm and bright and beautiful.
Yes.
So sorry if there's some natural noises or vehicle noises. Oh, it's sticking in here. Oh, got it. All right. So we did the same pattern on the same top on another batch of soap, and it was called Serenity Spice.
Yes.
And when you cut it into individual bars, it looks really neat. So we did it again. I'll take that.
There. There you go.
Thank you. We're out here in the grass, getting some grounding with our bare feet.
So this bar is like peacock drop.
This
is great.
There it is.
The way that we dropped it in, except we did a double drop this time. So like peacock drop, we just did a single drop down the middle. But for this bar, we did a double drop down the two sides.
That's right. So when we pour the base in here, you'll see on some of our pouring videos, what Krista means by a drop is we hold it up high and we let it break through the bottom color, which in this is the ivory here, and we pour it high. That's the end, so this got deeper. So we pour it high and we drop it in. And so this is a double drop.
Yes.
And you can take it up there and show the double drop.
Goodness,
It looks so cool.
I love it.
It looks great.
Beautiful.
Success.
So here's the double drop. As you can see, there's two sets of drops and it looks very neat. We did green and then pinkish red, green, pinkish red. So there's that, and then we did ivory on top and then the fork design with glitter. And for the glitter on the top, we actually mixed green and blue glitter together.
Yeah, it looks great. It's like this aqua teal. It looks great. So these are so neat, all of them. I cut some. The one you took up there is really neat. So we did the double drop because we're gonna do something special. We want you to do something special with this bar when you buy it. So you might notice our shirts. We'll clip in a close up here. What do our shirts say?
They say, love thy neighbor. Well, you saw the clip. It says, love your neighbor, and then it lists people we should love, and we should love everyone. So
Everyone.
For this bar, we are going to be cutting it in half. That's why we did the double drop design.
You ready to show them that right now?
Yeah, we
All
can
right,
do that.
Let's do it right now.
So we're going to be cutting it in half. So
So we're gonna take this one bar, we're gonna cut it in half vertically.
we'll
Sorry about the noise of the truck.
show you how that looks when we cut it in half.
There's the bar. There's the fork decor on the top. And we cut it right in half. So both bars have the drop effect. Okay, that's why we did the double drop. So both bars have a drop. Now you might be already trying to figure out why we did that. Tell them.
So the reason we did that is for this. So when you get your bar, you'll buy your bar and it will come with two halves. And what we want you to do is keep one half for yourself and give one half to your neighbor. So this is a way that we can love our neighbor.
Cool, it came out just as good as the other one.
And be sure to watch till the end of this video because we are going to be talking about loving our neighbors.
Yep, so here's another one. I'm gonna show you that, and then I'm gonna cut it in half again for you and your neighbor. Okay, so here it is, the same piece, and it's cut, so sticky, cut in half. Okay, so one for you, and one to give away to somebody that you can show love to. Okay, we're gonna try and keep this in the matching set. Is this one?
Yeah.
There you go. My hands are a little messy from the soap. Go ahead, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, so giving people soap is just one of the many ways we can love people. And we definitely encourage you to find other ways to love people and love your neighbors.
So, daughter, what are some other ways that you can show love?
Let's see.
Unplanned footage here.
You can, well, just speaking nicely to people is a way of showing love. Speaking nicely.
Kind words, yeah, that's good.
And
that was a job well done, daughter. I love you.
I love you too.
Of course, you can always pray for them.
Pray for them, yeah.
Give them gifts. What else can you do to love people?
Just being for them when they need them.
Being there for them. A listening ear or
Yeah.
hand to help.
So we did the double drop effect because it looks so cool when you cut it in half. And then both of them look really neat, both the sides.
Yeah. They're the same but different.
And the colors in this one are like a pinkish red and then a very teal green.
I don't know if they like this. I don't know. But it actually has some glitter in it. It's like an emeraldy. Emerald, there you go, maybe
Yeah.
it's emerald. Yeah, emerald green.
About-
So now we've got these cut into bars and we are going to cut them all in half. So we will turn up the music, turn down the voices, and let you watch. Okay, so they're all cut and they're looking pretty awesome.
Yes.
So we're gonna keep them matched up with the bars. That way the pattern looks the same when you get them. We are going to, my hands are a little messy.
Yeah.
We are going to, let's see if I get glitter on my face here. We're gonna package these in plastic. So they're gonna have shrink wrap on them and they're gonna be individually wrapped, and then we're going to package them together. So that when you get them, they'll be together when you purchase it. See, you do have a little bit on you.
Oh.
Okay, so they'll be wrapped together, but then you can just take the outside wrapper off, and then you'll have one to give or share and one for yourself.
So we're all cleaned up now, and we are going to read some passages out of the Bible about loving your neighbor. There's places all over the Bible that say that.
Where are you gonna start?
So Matthew, right? Matthew 5, verse 43. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore, you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect.
So yeah, if you only greet them, if you don't, because we can, right, we're talking about our neighbors, but then also our neighbor being everybody, right?
Yeah.
So if you only greet them, then you're not actually acting out in love. Like Father wants us to do acts. He wants us to actively love each other and do things like we talked about earlier. Okay, so now we're gonna read in Matthew 22. And where are we at? Oh yes, Matthew 22:34. When the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together. Then one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question, testing him and saying, Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? And Jesus said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and prophets. So this is also shared in Mark 12, but we're not going to go there. We're going to go to
Romans?
James.
Oh, James.
James.
Too.
We're going to go to Romans too, but let's go
James
to let's go to James. Here. We're taking turns.
All right, so James 2 verses 8 and 9. If you really fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, you do well. But if you show partiality, you commit sin and are convicted by the law as transgressors.
Okay, my turn. Romans 13, verse 8. Owe no one anything except to love one another, for he who loves another has fulfilled the law. For the commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, you shall not covet, and if there is any other commandment, are all summed up in this saying, namely, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no harm to a neighbor, therefore love is the fulfillment of the law. So we do, in loving our neighbor, we wouldn't break those commandments, because if you're loving your neighbor, then you wouldn't steal from them and you wouldn't commit adultery against them, which obviously is really committing adultery against the Father, our Creator. So, okay, so these bars are called Love Thy Neighbor, and they are
$7 each.
$7 each. You get two 2-ounce bars. They're just over 1 inch, and they are just over 4 ounces each. So you each get a 2-ounce bar. So we hope you enjoy them, and comment if you want to put your order in.
Thank you. Bye.